This conference will now be recorded.
Good day to you, everyone. My name is Emily Roman. I'm the Transition Support Team Manager here at Alamo Area Council of Governments in San Antonio. The purpose of this video is to increase the expertise of staff who work with people with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities. With that said, I would like to introduce you to Melissa Henderson, our IDD Lead Crisis Intervention Specialist. She is going to speak with you about managing behaviors. Okay, Melissa.
Good day. It's nice to do this presentation for you, Emily, and thank you for inviting me. I truly appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about some antecedent interventions and how managing behaviors are a key to crisis de-escalation, okay? And we are going to get started with the meat and potatoes of challenging behaviors, and that is called the ABCs. So an antecedent is whatever happens before the behavior we're interested in. And behavior is what the person does that we're interested in. And consequences, whatever happens after the behavior we're interested in. And when a consequence is something that the person likes and wants, that can result in reinforcement. And reinforcement, when a consequence strengthens the behavior that it follows. Whatever is reinforced will happen more often in the future. The ABCs of challenging behavior, here's a little example that we have on the screen for you. When a family member asks Tyler to do a task he doesn't like, he tries to hit them. When he tries to hit them, family members back off and give him time to calm down. In the diagram, that looks like this. The antecedent is the family members asked Tyler to do a task, so they placed a demand on him. The behavior is Tyler tries to hit family members, and the consequence is family members leave Tyler alone. So the challenging behavior gets staff to do something the person wants. Stop asking him to do the task. And if the staff leave him alone when he tries to hit them, they might inadvertently reinforce that hitting behavior. The behavioral trap. This is how we tie it all together. So why might caregivers tend to reinforce challenging behavior? Often we do so because in the short term, it gets the behavior to stop. Although it might solve the problem at that moment, reinforcing challenging behaviors tend to make things worse in the long run. Not all challenging behaviors are reinforced by behavior of caregivers. For example, a challenging behavior might get peers to do something the person likes, or doing the behavior might simply feel good. However, in many cases, the way we react to challenging behavior can have a strong effect on whether it will happen more often in the future. So when the parents or the caregivers get the behavior to stop, right? So what's getting reinforced when they leave him alone? They're getting him to stop hitting. So that behavior is all, leaving him alone is getting reinforced by him not hitting them. So that's where that behavioral trap goes. It kind of goes in a circle. Antecedents to challenging behavior. As we discussed in the prior slides, an antecedent is whatever happens before the behavior that we're concerned about. It's important to pay close attention to antecedents that come before challenging behaviors, because that may allow us to prevent or head off a crisis. Document and track antecedents to crisis events so that the pattern of behavior can be identified. Antecedent control. We may be able to prevent crisis behaviors by eliminating that trigger or helping the person to respond to it more appropriately. For example, if a person escalates when teased by a sibling, we could ask that sibling to play in a different location or differentially reinforce the person for responding to teasing by talking to a family member instead of escalating. De-escalation strategies. So we use 3 basic de-escalation strategies. And you are going to want to choose the one that is most appropriate for the current situation. And you can always change to a different strategy if the current one is not working. So we have 3 strategies. We have the help, prompt, and the wait strategy. So the helpers, we're going to try and get the person to communicate a need or want. And then as soon as they do so, we're going to praise them and you're going to reply with the request. The prompt strategy is we're going to identify something that we can ask the person to do that is different from the challenging behavior. We don't want that to be, we want it to be something that's incompatible with the behavior they're doing. So if we were to say, if somebody's like banging on a table, when we tell them to put their hands in their pockets, they can't bang on the table and put their hands in their pockets. The wait strategy, if attempts to intervene seem to be making things worse, but then we're going to step back and wait for a change in the behavior to make sure that no one else approaches the individual. It's very important to remain neutral and calm and not to show any reactions on your face and try and keep that poker face going, even if the person's behavior is very provocative. Responding to challenging behaviors. Do not engage or provide attention to challenging behaviors. When somebody's yelling, talking about behavior, cringing, and laughing, it's important to remain calm and the first sign of a challenging behavior and throughout the duration of that behavior. We can always use the first and then statement to place a demand to establish expectations. An example would be, first we clean up the toys, then we get ice cream. Or first we clean up the toys and then we can have snack. So walk away calmly if your consumer or loved one continues to escalate. When exiting the vicinity, maintain a line of sight so that you can block any attempts of aggressive behaviors. And if aggressive, remove hazardous items from the vicinity, then calmly leave the room. Once calm, restate the first then statement and reference the schedule. If not calm, continue to follow the steps 1 through 4 until your loved one is calmed down. And if compliant, moved on to completing first then statement and have him or her restore the environment to its original state before the challenging behavior began. Example would be like pick up their own items, push chairs back in, etc. Remember to maintain a neutral tone of voice and neutral effect during challenging behaviors. It's really important. I know it sounds something very inconsequential, but it is, because they can pick up little things in your voice or facial expressions. Caregiver resilience. As a caregiver who has the important responsibility to provide support to a person with behavioral challenges, it's important to consider your own ability to perform that task over a long term. Factors that affect our ability to manage our own emotions include our physical health and our stress level. Your physical health, are you getting enough rest, eating right, getting enough exercise? If you don't take care of yourself, that will affect your ability to take care of others. And your stress level. It's important to manage your own stress. If you are going to take care of someone with behavioral challenges, that includes making sure that you have time away from caregiver responsibilities, managing family stress and disagreements, arranging your work and home schedule if applicable, and otherwise planning for the reality that helping a family member with behavioral challenges is going to be a very large task, possibly over a very long period of time. I would like to ask you guys to please join us and participate in our Safety Care for Families class. If you'd like to learn more of what I'm teaching, you could go to eventbrite.com and put in my name, Melissa Henderson, and it will bring up all the classes that ACOG's Crisis Department offers. And all of the classes are free, and we would love to have each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Melissa. If you guys have any questions or concerns, yes, thank you. Please feel free to contact us at tst@acog.com. That stands for Transition Support Team. It's tst@acog.com, and we'll be happy to help you in any way we can. Thank you again, Melissa.
You're welcome. Thanks, Emily. Bye.